Hello and welcome to Miss Turner's Technology Workshop. For my technology workshop, I decided to do a presentation on Nearpod because I love Nearpod. I use it a lot. It's something I'm very familiar with. So I hope that you like this. Okay, so when I click on my banner, it takes me to the agenda. The agenda for my workshop, number 1 was to complete the pre-survey. Number 2, download the Nearpod app. Number 3, experience a sample lesson. Number 4, share feedback. Number 5, break into groups based on grade level and create your own Nearpod. Number 6, complete the feedback survey. And number 7, sign up for an observation time. So there's 2 ways that you can view the lesson plan that I created. I prefer everything in Google Docs just because I put hot links and I like that it's easier to use there. However, you can also download it here as well. I'm going to click here. So this is my lesson plan. Has the overview and purpose, the ISTE teacher standards that I got from the ISTE website, as well as the student standards, also from the ISTE website. Objectives, materials needed, location and time, promotional materials, instructional process. I did use these steps here from the Nearpod website. They had a little training outline, so I put that into here. I did not read this verbatim because that would be very long, but it was a great guide to help me kind of guide the workshop. So that's my lesson plan. Next, we're going to go to handouts. So I have a couple of different ones. The handouts here all came from the Nearpod website as well. They have a little training module, so they had some very helpful resources for me that I decided to hand out. It had the training outline and then the training checklist. So participants got copies of these and they got to follow along as we were going. And then this was put in everybody's mailboxes, the faculty invitation. Once again, you can download this or you can find it in the Google Drive. I also have included a copy of the agenda that I made here in case anybody wants that. So those are my handouts. Next we have a survey. My pre-survey and my post-survey were both made using Google Forms. I made these myself. So this is my pre-survey and then the post-survey. Presentation. Alright. So the first thing I had participants do was to download the Nearpod app on an electronic device. Smartphone, tablet, didn't really matter. Once that was downloaded, I wanted to kind of see where the participants were at already with their learning. So they turned and talked to a neighbor and just tried to figure out where their class was at instructionally, as well as with incorporating technology and what their students already know about technology. Once the turn and talk was finished, we shared a couple of answers out loud and briefly chatted about similarities and differences between the classrooms and grade levels. Here we have the sample lesson. So I projected this up on the screen while the participants used the Nearpod app on their phone to follow along. So you can just quickly see that this is interactive, and this is a great example of a Nearpod in itself. Has a quick summative, gives you the objectives, the agenda for this specific one. You can create a caption or annotate. Here you get to talk to a neighbor, so you get to share out your thinking. type your answers here to respond to questions. And then this is an example of an actual sample lesson. It's cool because you can have virtual field trips as well. So here they're looking at biodiversity within the ocean and within coral reefs, which we all know has a lot of diversity. And then these are cool because you can also draw here as well, or you can upload a picture, write text. So any way that you want to express your thinking is great. Can include documents. And then there's a YouTube video at the end. There's a little quiz. This allows me to assess how the participants did and what they took away with them to use in the future. Okay, so that's a little example of that. Once we were finished and they got done with their peer feedback for I wish, I like, what if, we did chit-chat circles, just trying to figure out how can they incorporate this, what can you learn from a peer, and what are your next steps. Once that was finished, I encouraged them to complete the post-survey feedback form, which once again took them here, that way they could finish it. And I also encouraged them to set up an observation time via the Google spreadsheet. This allows them to pick a time when I can come in and observe how they're using Nearpod in their classroom. And we debrief afterwards to see how they can take it to the next level. Here is a copy of the teacher ISTE standards. And then we have the student standards, which if you're using this with your students can cover more than this, but any type of Nearpod lesson you do will meet all of these standards. Here's my evaluation narrative, complete with the survey results from the post-survey. And finally, additional resources. This is where you're going to find everything else that you didn't see in any of these tabs. I wanted to make sure that everybody had access to all of the links and everything that I presented. So I attached Nearpod teacher resources, the Help Center, how to use Nearpod with Google, virtual reality, how to get started, so giving them time to explore, how to create your own lesson, links to resources. This is an important document. This has links to every single resource that I included in my presentation or briefly mentioned. So they're all hot links. You can just click on them and it'll take you right there. Okay. This was the flyer that I handed out to teachers to invite them to come to our training. And then I also made a GIF, which I sent via email. So they got a paper flyer and an email flyer. And that is it for my technology workshop.